Whoever did it needs to pay the price.
A father of 7 dead, his estranged wife and 2 sons charged with covering up his murder. But who actually killed him? More than 1,000 people have reacted to this story on our Facebook page. And tonight, we went into the neighborhood where this father was killed and where police say 2 of his children tried to cover up the murder. Good evening, I'm Berkeley Breen. Earlier this week, we told you about the disappearance of 50-year-old Craig Rideout from Penfield. He went missing Tuesday night. Just 1 day later, his body was found wrapped in a tarp in Yates County. And now 3 of his family members are charged in connection to his death. Jennifer Lukey has been tracking this story all day, pouring through the court paperwork and going to Rideout's neighborhood. She joins us live now from the Monroe County Jail. Jen, his 2 sons are still locked up behind bars behind you. They are not charged with murder. They're just charged with trying to cover it up, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Berkeley. The 2 sons and his estranged wife have both been charged with tampering with physical evidence at the moment. But this is still a very active investigation, and police tell us it is very likely that at least one of the 3 of them will be charged with murder soon. Barb and Eric Luke were horrified to learn what happened in a townhome a few doors down.
When it's a neighbor. It's a neighbor, and you feel bad. You think, you know, what would drive people to do that? You know, you just never know what's behind closed doors.
Dental records confirm the body found in Yates County on Wednesday is that of Craig Rideout. Investigators say he was strangled to death, likely inside his townhome in Penfield, his body transported and then dumped.
The body was wrapped in a tarp, and there was also a shovel found at the scene, and evidence indicated that some kind of a corrosive acid was poured over the body's face.
Investigators say Rideout's sons, Colin and Alexander, were found disposing chemical materials at Devil's Bathtub in Mendon Ponds Park later that day. They were apparently driving this car at the time.
Some of the items in Mendon Ponds we could link to the actual scene down in Yates County.
According to court paperwork, Rideout's estranged wife was found by one of his family members inside his townhouse, attempting to dispose of other evidence. She said nothing as she was bailed out of jail today. Laura, anything to say?
No comment.
Anything to say?
No comment.
All 3 of these suspects are accused of covering up a murder. But who is responsible for the murder itself?
Obviously, with all the computer analysis that we have to do, there's a lot of forensic analysis that has to be done on both cell phones as well as computers, iPhones. All of that stuff is so preliminary. We're sending all that stuff to the lab. There's, we certainly believe there's a connection with the people that we have in custody with regards to the homicide. You know, it just takes time.
The folks who live in Rideout's townhome community relieved it wasn't a random crime, but still saddened by the loss.
Still, it doesn't make it any less horrifying to think that a neighbor would, you know, that anyone kills anyone else. That to me was just unfathomable.
Again, both sons still in custody in jail. The jail you see behind me, we've had a crew here all night in case they got bailed out, but neither has. Again, more charges likely pending. Police tell us they are still running down leads this evening. We, of course, will continue to monitor the situation and bring you any updates as we get them. For now, live in downtown Rochester, Jennifer Lukey, News 10 NBC.
All right, Jen, thanks. Now, if you're like us, you can't help but think of the similarities between this case and the Charlie Tan case. And now, just like Charlie, there is this GoFundMe page set up by friends and family of Alex and Colin Rideout. And in the introduction to it, it says, "This is not the first time something like this has happened in Pittsford," referring, obviously, to the Charlie Tan case. And in just about 5 hours, they've already raised a little more than $3,000. The goal is $55,000. And now there's the connection to Pittsford Mendon High School. We found this article from our partners at the Messenger Post newspaper. This goes back to 2010. And here's what we found, that at that time, Colin Rideout and Charlie Tan were members of the same championship rowing team at Pittsford Mendon. Now, moving on. Hillary Clinton